Well, here we are. Happy Wednesday, Wisdom. Happy Eve of Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. I hope everyone is going to have a blessed and joyful holiday celebration wherever you are. Enjoy, create your own. Let's see. Mm, so, I only have one little thing that I wanted to share before we start, and that is um, a new technique that I'm playing with. It's spirit, I'd say call it a technique. Um, because I haven't been watching news or any reporting on anything since the election. Uh, but scrolling through some things, I'll see a headline, and even then, I'm going ah. And then a deep breath, and Spirit said, just look at it and smile and say yada yada yada. I love you, and really mean it. They said so. That's what I'm playing with now, with no disrespect intended. It's just that it's another way of saying blah, blah, blah. It all is there. And the whole of it wraps up in I love you, whoever you are out there that I'm reading the headline about or those involved with any of that stuff. So um, the truth is, I wish everyone the best that their life will bring them and the best for what's evolving in mm, our lives here on the planet in humanity. Um, Spirit had reminded me a while ago is that in humility there is truth in all things, but no one thing has all the truth. So I continue to bless, yada, yada, yada. I love you. So whatever that is for you, invite you to play with it, or if you have other thoughts about it, you can message me about that. Getting ready to leave this physical awareness for a little while. Enjoy um, the sharing, and I'll be back to close out with you. Hail and greetings, beloved friends. I am, the light indeed, and thou art as well. If you should choose, that would be our delight. Now, with all this grand energy that is surrounding people, you hear a lot about gratitude, thankfulness, being in the state of gratefulness. And what I want to add to that, perhaps, or remind you of, is this. It is not merely an opportunity, and any particular day or any moment is more special than another, to claim what and why you hold gratitude in your heart, what it is for, who you are toward, giving toward the light of your loving gratitude. But all of that comes to this. Will you be grateful for what you do not understand? Will you be grateful for what you do not appreciate, enjoy, or like in your discernments? Can you be grateful that everything showing up for you is your gift? You can rewrap the gift, you can dismantle it and reform it, you can make of it anything. Sometimes if someone has given you a beloved gift to your holidays, your birthday, and so forth, and you smile with curiosity as to what it is or how did they ever believe this was something of value for you, you have a deep breath and you say, oh, thank you. Oh, what a lovely idea. Thank you so much. Faking it in some level of your being, but truthfully knowing that from the heart it came and you receive it in your heart. So what if everything that shows up for you is a gift you haven't realized could serve you in your heart space, could be reimagined? Even when somebody might deliver a bouquet of flowers to you, or you find yourself bringing into your own home a bouquet of flowers. You generally go through a process of trimming and cutting and reshaping as you place them into the appropriate vessel, the one of your choosing. And perhaps over time, as you are appreciating it, you shift it around and you remove things which are no longer holding the vitality, and you play with it and keep recreating the gift of it. Do the flowers in those circumstances hold anger and resentment that you have removed some of them or discarded them? That you changed their neighborhood because you just now put one flower next to another instead of the place where it was originally placed? Of course not. So you have permission to create gratitude by letting yourself find the beauty and the gift in anything and everything that's presented to you. Let us presume then that there is something horrific occurring in your life. Horrific by your emotional body, to your physical body, the traumas, the fears, the anxieties, and the events which really no one says you must have, but they are there. No one is saying God planned it that you have an experience of trauma, but that the divine allows for things to occur in such ways that you will grow and learn the power of your truth in all of it. You're given the freedom, the allowance, and prayerfully the attunement to the lessons and to the frequencies of how it is that you can be masterful no matter what is occurring. So these things of life, which are really the most unpleasant of all, in the moment of the pain of the body and of the emotional trauma of it, you do not find that your spiritual truth will say, oh, isn't this wonderful? I'm so grateful this happened. But that you be in the presence of the emotion, the feelings, the physicality of it, and allow that to be fuel for the moment when you are transcending that interpretation. As a memory, you can return, reshape it, and heal it. As even an occurrence in the process of it, you can find a freedom from the trauma that gives you perspective. Some examples of that might be people who are in so-called near-death experiences. They've left their body and they no longer are feeling the experience of the trauma that might have occurred for their body, and yet in review and observance, they hear, feel, sense new frequencies, new ways to interpret what was occurring and what was presented for choices to them. So, do you need trauma in order to do that? No. Do you need to have an out-of-body near-death experience to have that occur? No. But all in perfect time for you to move your own being into the endless possibilities of the gift. Not easy to hear, because so often I might have spoken similar words and heard, yeah, but you are trying to tell me that God wanted me to suffer. No, I've never said that. God, the energies of infinite love, does not plan for suffering and punishment and pain. The experience, however, is allowed when you have created by your own patterns of thought, emotions, expectations, and resistance of true desire, circumstances which now present a moment which could be the greatest gift of all. Finding the faith you have in the greater power of your union with the divine, finding your heart's true desire, finding and creating the best of what is given. All of these things might be in your cycle of earthly timing over an extended period, or they can be in an instant moment. But these things I give as examples that there is, always has been, the opportunity to receive a blessing in anything and everything that's presented. Presented as you have allowed, opened, and created experiences. Gratitude. Oh, often we have said over these many millennium, when you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you experience ease and joy. You're not struggling and fighting and saying, well, this is not fun. Well, if you know the teaching I have offered, you know that FUN is your life purpose. Not always yay, not always like a childhood game of frolicking, fun, but FUN, the stepping into the full unlimited nirvana of consciousness, the stepping into the joy of your power to create and shift attitude, mood, and interpretation of life. So when you are enjoying your life, you are in fun, although it may not be the fun you think of times, which is a different frequency. Some people have said, well, is joy the same as being in the state of happiness and fun? Well, you tell me. Is it? We can distinguish. It's just not so urgent right now, though, to be analytical about that. So I have often said, and I remind you, the more you do what you enjoy, the more you enjoy what you do. This has been spoken of in many different contexts. The more you appreciate, the more that what you appreciate is returned. It just goes on and on. And so how is your fun in life? What is the pleasure of your life? What is the enjoyment of your life about? The little things? Give yourself that. Do that. Make a habit of that. And then be in gratitude that you've had that power to choose and to invent joy, happiness, pleasure in your life. Many have heard this story, and I must repeat it again, about the two little boys that the parents were frustrated in their conflict of distinctions, that they each as twins had a different personality. One seemed to find everything to be perfect, and the other was miserable with everything. And so off to the psychiatrists they go, and putting them in separate rooms with the wonderful two-way mirror, you know, the kind where you can see in and they cannot see out, right? The first child, the happy child, was given nothing but a giant pile of horse manure. And the one that was always miserable was how their room was filled with candies and cakes and cookies and toys and lovely things, just filled to the rafters. And as they observed, the little boy that was never happy with anything smashed and threw everything around, complaining and grumbling. It wasn't enough, it wasn't right. And the little boy that's found goodness in most everything in his life was observed at the top of this pile of horse manure, just slowly, carefully digging with his hands through it. And with the bewilderment, the parents, the psychiatrists, open that door and say, we need to know, what is it you're doing? And his response, with all this crap, there must be a pony somewhere. So you see, it's the attitude of gratitude that presents the possibilities of life, giving you everything you need, right? Giving you what you want. Your desires are always met when you are in alignment to your needs being met. Sometimes people make that distinction. I only want what I need. I don't want things. Wanting, as some might interpret from religious ideas, sinful or in the diversion of your spiritual path. It can be. When you lust for things, if that desire is a lustfulness, that sense of longing for that which you could not or should not have because it is not healthy for you, or because you feel you don't deserve it, all kind of reasons that people lust for foods and sexuality and things, right? So it's not the same as loving that. It's all that distinction. So you say, then I desire this grand vision I have for life because I trust everything I need is always given. That's a new kind of faith. If you're driving a beat-up old car, it's filling a need. Doesn't mean you don't have deservability or a desire for something different. But when you've made peace and gratitude for the gift of what it is, that your need is met, there's room now for the desire to outpicture, as you might call it, to come into manifestation, into your experience. Or not. Or not. You will find the distinction of where your true desire is and where your lust is, and you'll heal all of these things. So meanwhile, imagine what might be under that pile of stuff. So maybe in your household, in your little car, wherever you are, you find yourself surrounded by and almost overtaken in moments by stuff, often referred to as clutter. The stuff of life, whether it is the physical stuff or the piles of bills or the ideas and the to-dos that you have in your mind, that is overwhelming. Be grateful you've got all that stuff and that it is fertilization for something. Be grateful. When you're ready, you will find a purpose for it. You will find the next purpose for it all. If your clutter is your to-do list in your mind and on paper, try having some FUN with everything on that list. Find the peacefulness in it. Find the joy in it. Find the presence in it, your inner conscious presence. Turn your to-dos into ta-das. Gratitude is an attitude that can bring you from dismay into glory. It can bring you from the doldrums into whimsy. Grateful. So whether or not you choose to discipline yourself into using a gratitude journal, as some will do, or making a list frequently of the things you have gratitude about, those things can be mindfully helpful. But even on a breath, when something is not at your perfect circumstance as you perceive it, say, I'm willing to find the pony in this. I'm willing to be grateful that I get to find something greater than what I think I see, what I believe I'm feeling and experiencing. There's always more. So in gratitude, give. Give your life of love. Give your financial blessing. Give your kindness. Give. Because there you are, opening the gateway of infinite, receiving even more blessings for your gratitude to fuel even the next cycle. So is it better to give than receive? Well, we don't perceive it that way. It is oftentimes felt like that because you feel so good when that happens in some circumstances. But the goodness is that you've just opened yourself up now and you're letting the flow of energy come into you. So it's equal. Giving, receiving, gratitude. To be in light is not a choice. Oh, to be aware, to choose is a choice. To say, I am the light, I choose light. Those are choices. But it is who you are, it's your nature. So it's a matter of the choice being your acceptance, proclamation, and gratitude for that as truth. You are light. You are the light of the world, as it has been said. You are. So you are more than a little light. You are light. Huzzah! Celebrate us with light. Celebrate your life as the light you are. In your gratitude these days, give gratitude for all, so that it is transmuted through your love, through the power of your all-encompassing fulfillment of light. In that which we are, as we stand in truth, we understand and bless you to be as well. In all of these things, we accept our oneness. Namaste. Holding on to some physical as I come back into awareness of my body and the breath of power in my ability to use all of my self to communicate. Thank you for my little journey. I say little because I felt little. I felt like I was sort of a shrunken down or a little tiny person walking through life, kind of like you might have seen in old movies, where people get shrunken. Honey, I shrunk the kids. Well, I was shrunken into seeing life from a different perspective on the physical all around me. I didn't feel fear that I recall now. I just felt wonder and curiosity. So I'm going to let that continue to build in me as a new, fresh way to see myself in the world, not less than by being smaller, but participating in a new way. So thank you all for this great opportunity for me and for all of us with sharing of the Master's wisdom on this glorious Wednesday. Again, for those celebrating the holiday here of Thanksgiving, I wish it to be the best for you. Until our next time, thank you.